Hey guys, it's Zadeh with Sidewalker Daily, and in today's video, I want to talk about some serious tips that are going to help you explode your story views. Now, I know for so many of us, posting on stories can get, overwhelming. We'll have the algorithm get in the way and be like, oh, my story views are down. Why are they down? So in today's video, I'm going to give you tons of tips to get those views back up so that you can start getting the eyeballs that you need. Before I go ahead and jump in, make sure you hit subscribe so that you can be kept up to date to all things social media, influencer marketing, and creator marketing. Because the advice that I'm going to be giving can be used to obviously the creators in our community that watch our content, but also small businesses and brands. So let's jump in. So when it comes to stories, we also have to think about like the user experience, right? So how many times do you think you go and check stories throughout the day? Just think about what your user experience is like. What do? Do you just go on once a day and watch all the stories all at once? Or I don't know if you're anything like me, but I tend to go on my phone, every 30 minutes, hour, maybe take an hour break, and then I just kind of go on and scroll and see what's happening. So this is a really good piece of insight. This means, first of all, watch your own behavior on how you use social. It will be such a great indicator on how to craft your strategy. Because again, my thought here is if you post every hour or every 30 minutes, every 45 minutes and space out your stories, this is going to get you way more views than if you post all your stories at once in the beginning of the day and then just have them sit there. You want to almost feed people when they're showing back up so that they get that alert that a new story has been posted, right? So of course that doesn't mean you have to post just one story an hour, but the idea here is for you to space them out so that you are creating that space for people to come back, visit, and watch. Because again, the Instagram algorithm, they want people, the way it works is that it knows when people are coming to check out, your content. So if you give it an opportunity to come often, it's triggering the algorithm to work in your favor, right? So that's definitely one of my favorite points. And if you watch all the way to the end, you're going to hear a tip that I've never shared before that I think could really, really kill it. So make sure you stick around to the end. My second tip is on Instagram stories. I don't know about you guys, but this photo right here on the screen, when I see this many stories pop up on someone's feed, I get super overwhelmed. So you don't ever wanna have like 50, 60, 70 stories in a day because it just takes people a really long time to get to the end. Again, user experience. When I see someone has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories, it's easy to get to the end of them because that's what you want, right? You don't want people to drop off. You want people to finish watching your stories all the way through. And by having too many, you're losing that opportunity. You're basically telling people only your true, loyal, diehard fans are gonna watch every single one. And yes, there are influencers that I watch all their stories, but I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's just overwhelming. So this is something that you guys should also consider, is to not have too many, because it could hurt your actual watch time. People just don't want to finish them. Now, a tip that I love, that I think is really interesting, is what has worked for you on other platforms to increase your watch time. So if you're on YouTube, maybe you do certain things to get people to stick around to the end, right? Maybe you do a little hook. Or on TikTok, I have a lot of TikTokers that I work with. They always have a hook in the beginning of their video. So figure out what's worked for you in another platform and transfer that knowledge onto stories. So for example, we tried this and we saw that it did really, really well. I got onto stories and I told people to wait till the end, which is a very YouTube thing to do, right? I oftentimes want people to stay with me throughout my video. So I'll say, I'm gonna save my last tips till the end. Same thing on stories. Maybe you just jump on and you're like, guys, I'm gonna be sharing XYZ. And the last thing that I'm sharing is really, really important. So wait for it. Telling people to wait for it is sometimes so simple, yet will actually get people to finish the entire set of stories. And that's what you want, because again, the algorithm knows, hey, this user finished all the stories, right? So the content in these stories is valuable. If you have a lot of people drop off and not finish your stories, the algorithm knows that maybe the content isn't that good. So find a way to keep people to finish the stories. And we talked about obviously not posting too many, but also the things that you put in your posts, like that things that you actually tell people, even like a hook, like wait for it, in text can get people to stick around longer. Now, we've been talking about the algorithm. So obviously, I'm sure if you have watched my channel before and know that I am an Instagram algorithm, I always like to study it and understand how it works. But Instagram has made it very easy for us because it's told us this is how I work in its recent blog article. And one of the biggest things is obviously engagement, right? Instagram, the algorithm knows, are people watching, commenting? So how do we get people to interact with our stories? You guys need to put that little hat on and get people to interact with them, because that triggers to the algorithm that, again, people are enjoying these stories. And Instagram has made it really easy for you to get people to engage. You have things like the slider, where you can go ahead and slide and get your audience to slide and agree. You have questions, you have polls, you have stickers and little GIFs that are entertaining. You have so many things, right? Countdowns that you can get people to click to stick around to. So within the Instagram Stories app already, there are tons of interactive ways to get people to stay. Now, I think that people just in general like polls a lot because it kind of provokes that curiosity. You kind of want to see what other people chose because it shows you the percentage. So if you are a creator, that isn't using polls, or you're not using the functions that Instagram is giving you, go ahead and do so. Try it out. You're going to take advantage of the stuff that Instagram is putting out there for you, because it's going to help drive those engagements and therefore, get those story views up. Now, I just wanted to quickly preface this before I go into some other Instagram tech stuff. But if you are someone that's not showing your face on your Instagram stories, you are going to see a huge difference when you do. When I post on stories graphics, let's just say I'm promoting a new course, or I'm even doing polls and I'm just doing graphics, it's so different than if I just show up and say hi to the people watching on the other end of the screen. Videos that are stories that have my face in them, and I just swap on a little filter and just say, hey guys, and talk to my people, tend to perform so much better than just graphics. So of course, every business is different. Some people don't want to, but anytime you can humanize the content, let people in, show them behind the scenes, make them feel like they're sitting in, the office with you, this type of content tends to have higher watch through because people want to, they're connecting with you. Okay, so I just needed to point that out there. But one of the things I was saying about, using Instagram's tools, the location feature is really a great thing to add, because when you're adding a location, the other people that are viewing stories by that location are gonna get, alerted, right? They're gonna be able to see your content. Same thing with hashtags. If you go into a hashtag, there are people who follow storied hashtags. They wanna see, right? So this is opening up your stories. This is opening up your content to people that don't follow you, which is really, really important, because on stories, it's only people who follow you, right? Unless you use a hashtag. Once you use a hashtag, you're basically opening up to a whole other group. So I wanna go ahead and show you guys an example of just a user experience. So if we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my Instagram app so we can look. I'm gonna go ahead here on the vegan cookies hashtag. I may be looking at it. When you start looking at content, Instagram is gonna say, wow, this person really, this is the type of content I wanna see. So if I click here, there's an account right here, the Fit Peach. That's how I found that picture. Here it is right there. And then if I was to go and click, I'm now getting into her stories. And again, if I did vegan cookies, it would make sense that I would maybe want to follow this. What's she making here? Maybe she's making something else, who knows? But again, super cool, because it's able to help me find content that I would resonate with by putting, by being able to see just on the hashtag. Now, another way that you can be growing your story views, similarly what we spoke about with hashtags and putting locations and getting people to find you that way, is also through tagging and mentioning other accounts. Now, I've seen a lot of people say do secret tags, or hide them. The reason I'm not totally for that, and I'll tell you why, is because I get Sidewalker Daily, we get a lot of those tags all day long. I'll get a tag in my inbox saying oh, you've been mentioned in stories, and then I look at it and it's just someone that's trying to get our attention. And I guess because we get so many of them, that I don't know if it's necessarily effective. Sometimes I do like look at the influencer and I see their content, but I think it's better just to be like upfront. So for example, anytime you tag someone, it is gonna go into their notifications, right? Like right here on my screen, you'll see that I was tagged by a creator and it lets me add it to my story. So this creator tagged us from our guest speaker chat, and then I reshared it because it made sense for me to reshare. It was like it totally made sense, right? So if you're at a restaurant or you're going somewhere, just announce it. You can tag them hoping that they reshare it. And that is able to get someone else to now see your audience, right? So like now my audience is gonna be able to see that I reshared this creator's post, and then maybe they're gonna wanna go ahead and check this creator out. So tagging and mentioning other accounts, so with the goal in mind to get them to reshare you and reshare your stories, will help you get to, again, the people that you're wanting eyeballs on. Now, it's super important that I say, this can be done very strategically, especially if you have a really solid niche, because if you have a solid niche and you tag a restaurant, let's just say, and the restaurant reshares your content, and then the person that's other guests that are at the restaurant are following that restaurant and they go and look at that restaurant's stories and they see your post and they're like, oh my gosh, I really like that post. And then they go see your account and your account is again like all dogs or puppies or whatever pets. That person may not follow you because they're like maybe not your person. Versus if you start posting like other restaurant reviews in your city that, you know, shows where's the best dining or whatever, this is a really smart way, because now if that restaurant reshared you, all the people that follow that restaurant are now going to be able to get access to you. And we're hoping that you're able to convert them into a follower. So not only are you growing your views, you're also growing your followers in this method. Now, if you're super stuck with your niche and don't know what you're doing, and you feel like you're a little bit all over the place, definitely check out our niche course. This course, it will give you that clarity that you're looking for. It's going to help you drill down your niche, help you come up with your mission statement, and help you plan your content so that you are super strategic and get the exact audience that you want. Okay, so if you made it this far in the video, you're in luck, because this is my favorite tip to explode views on stories. And this is really helpful if you have like a video or a piece of content that you really need eyeballs on. So what type of content could that be? Maybe you just launched something. Maybe you're a creator and you're working with a brand and you need those story views because you want to show them, look how many people watched. Or maybe it's something that you just really want like attention on. This has worked for us. And again, all of these things are just trial and error. So try things, see if it works for you. But when I let all our stories expire, all of them expire, and then I post my first story the next day, that one tends to get like just like a burst of views, because it's not hidden within all the other story sets. What ends up happening, like I said, is you have a drop off. From the first story you post to the last story, there tends to be a drop off. So if you really want a lot of views on something, wait for the rest of the stories to expire. This will help you get a fresh set of eyes. Hopefully that works for you guys like it's worked for us, and go ahead and try it and test it and let me know if any of these tips have worked for you. Let me know if you guys have any other tips to share in the comments. I'm gonna read them. Other creators and other people can read them as well, and we can all learn from each other. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you leave that comment, you subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.